The Adventures of Michael Shayne, Private Detective. The Adventures of Michael Shayne, Private Detective, starring Wally Mayer and Kathy Lewis. Anything can happen in San Francisco, well, almost anything. And when it happens, you usually find Michael Shayne, Private Detective, somewhere around. That's why Mike and Phyllis Knight, his observant and easy-on-the-eye assistant, are locking the office at 9 a.m. and heading for the nearest corner to join Inspector Faraday on what the inspector describes as a wild goose chase, or, as Phyllis more aptly puts it, a junket on office time. It seems there are pirates in San Francisco Bay.
Oh, it's spring, Angel. Wonderful day. And I've always wanted to go aboard a yacht.
Yacht, my eye. It's probably phony, too. What about our clients? You haven't cleaned up on that insurance case
Let them
yet,
wait, let them wait. 16 men on a death bench, just yo-ho, and a bottle of rum.
Oh.
Here's the elevator.
Oh, you've been going to too many pirate pictures. Pirates in San Francisco Bay. Do you suppose they're related to the Indians at Stanford?
What are you muttering about?
I always mutter when some publicity-seeking chorus girl lets herself be found drugged in her pajamas, wrapped in a blanket in the bottom of a canoe.
She's no chorus girl, honey. She's the wife of a college professor.
But when she says pirates boarded a yacht, killed her husband, and kidnapped her, well, now really,
Yes,
Mike,
I know. You don't believe it. Well, I'm the open-minded type, darling.
Certainly are.
Here's where we get off. Oh, smell that air. As I said before, honey, it's spring.
Mm-hmm. And in the spring, the sap rises.
Over here, folks.
Oh, hi, Inspector.
Hello, Inspector.
Climb in.
Say, darling.
Thank you.
Sausalito, first stop. Oh, what a day for a motorboat ride. Why, Inspector, you're actually glowering. What's happened?
Plenty. I think I got my finger on the guy at the bottom of this deal. A movie press agent by the name of Jim Fonda. And never that guy pulling his Hollywood shenanigans in my town.
Why, Inspector, no pirates.
Oh, plenty of them, Phil. Too many of them. A whole brig full. There's 200 of them.
What? You've already got 200 pirates in jail? Holy smoke.
A brigantine is a pirate vessel, Mike.
Huh?
Right, Inspector?
Right, Phyllis. They might as well be in jail. For that anchor doesn't budge until I give the word.
Lafitte's men, I suppose, from around the Horn.
No, nothing so romantic, my dear. They're Captain Kidd's men from Central Casting in Hollywood. There's a movie company aboard the ship, and they're getting ready to sail down the coast on location when I climb down.
Oh, aren't you a bit rough on them, Inspector? After all, press agents have to have their fun. Or do you know something I don't know?
No, not a thing, Mike. I guess I lost my sense of humor. Hollywood had its laugh this morning. Now I'm going to have mine.
Huh?
You know, they have to pay those pirates every day, you know.
Yeah, I get it. Investigations, questions, delays. Well, where do we go first? The pirate ship or the yacht?
The yacht. Maybe Professor Porter will be there himself, if he isn't still playing dead.
Where's the wife?
She'll be there, too. And so will Jim Fonda, or I'll fire every detective on my staff.
Well, that might not be a bad idea.
Save the sarcasm, Mike.
Tony fooling.
Well, there's the yacht.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Wow. There's nothing phony about this baby. She's big enough to go to sea.
Yeah, but she hasn't been away from that dock site since the professor bought her.
This doesn't look like a college professor's layout. A nice, tidy little investment there.
Yeah, teaching's a sideline with Professor Porter. They tell me he's got oil wells working for him.
If that's Annabelle, his wife, coming out to welcome us, they better be gushers. She looks very expensive. Inspector Faraday?
Yes? Oh, and this is Michael Shayne and Phyllis Knight, Mrs. Porter.
How do you do?
Good morning.
How do you do?
Please come into the lounge.
Thank you.
I'm a courteous man, Mrs. Porter, but I haven't time for courtesy this morning. I can't understand why an apparently sane woman would expect us to believe such a story.
Do you mind if we stroll around, Mrs. Porter? I've never been on a yacht before.
Yes, certainly. And now, Inspector, would you please explain why you got my
Big-hearted Mike. He just can't bear to hear a beautiful redhead bawled out, so he took the powder.
Oh, look, Angel, this doesn't add up. You don't plot publicity gags in a playhouse like this one.
Huh? You've seen something, Mike. Or maybe it was just one look at the redhead.
I guess this is the master's stateroom. 2 beds.
What are you doing?
The one bed layouts in the guest cabin.
Mike, what did you see?
Huh? Oh, just Mrs. Porter. She used to be Annabelle Armstrong in the movies.
So what? Hey, now it's my turn. I spy something beginning with the letter P. Give you one guess.
Pills in a blue bottle by the bed.
Oh, think I'll have a look. Mike, this entire bottle wouldn't put a child to sleep.
Let me see it, honey. Oh, it doesn't spell anything backwards.
It spells something for me. These pills prove Annabelle went canoe riding with her eyes open.
Ow!
What'd you expect to find in the closet, pirates?
Oh, that bag that hit my foot felt like it was packed.
Hey, it is. And so's this one. Everything for a nice long trip. You know, I could take a honeymoon with this bag.
Say, the professor's a snappy dresser.
Oh,
Just
fine.
look at this sport coat.
Come on, Mike. Let's quit playing house. I want to watch Annabelle act.
Okay.
I might have known how it would turn out when I brought you along, Mike.
Why, what's up, Inspector?
It's murder, my boy.
While we're playing houseboat.
So her story stood up.
I'm buying it up to here.
Well, I haven't heard it, but I think I'll shop around.
Well, Fonda's the guy, all right. I just telephoned a general alarm. Ought to pick him up any minute.
You telephone?
Yeah, there's a phone. The yacht's permanently tied up to the pier. I also sent for Porter's secretary. He may have some information.
Inspector, do you mind bringing us up to date? We've been sightseeing.
Well, Mike, here's the story. Jim Fonda is Porter's nephew.
Yeah?
Sort of a family black sheep. He's been causing trouble. Everything from forgery to some sort of blackmail.
Uh-huh.
Well, it seems Fonda headed for the professor's home as soon as he hit town. The professor's secretary sent him to the yacht. That'd be yesterday afternoon. There was a row. Porter threatened to send Fonda to jail and shoved him off the boat.
Yeah?
Fonda yelled he'd be back and told Porter he'd better have it ready. Mrs. Porter thinks he meant a sum of money. Maybe the Secretary Taylor can clear that point.
Uh-huh. But where do the pirates come in?
Well, I'm coming to that.
I'll tell you, Mike. After Fonda left, Mrs. Porter developed a headache. That night she couldn't sleep. The professor went into the lounge to read, and Mrs. Porter took 2 sleeping pills.
3, my dear.
Mrs. Porter took 3 sleeping pills. Later, she was aroused by loud voices, and then a big, burly pirate with a red beard leaned over the bunk.
I believe his beard was black this night.
Oh, yes, the light was on.
No, the cabin was dark. This man, dressed like a pirate, seized me, threw a blanket over me, and carried me to the canoe. It was one we kept tied to the yacht. There was a body wrapped in a blanket on the bottom. He paddled for several minutes, and then put the body overside.
Maybe you'd better ask the questions, Mike.
Well, you're doing fine, Angel.
Thanks.
Mrs. Porter, the cabin was dark. There was no moon. How did you know the man was dressed like a pirate?
He struck several matches.
Oh?
Yes, he was smoking a pipe.
I see. And why are you so sure that this man dressed as a pirate was Jim Fonda?
I knew Jim. He was publicity man on one of my pictures. Oh, maybe I should explain. I'm Annabelle...
Oh, not at all. I recognized Annabelle Armstrong the moment I came aboard.
Thank you. Well, Jim Fonda had 2 peculiarities. His eyebrows were highly arched, and his left eye twitched. I recognized him despite his disguise the first time he lighted a match.
Did he know you had recognized him?
I'm not sure. He might have worn the pirate costume as a prank. Jim had an odd sense of humor. I believe he intended taking me with him. He tried to arouse me when he landed the canoe. I was too heavy to carry far.
Those sleeping tablets must have been pretty powerful.
It's a shame. Those tablets are a mild, harmless sort. I was wide awake. Limp from fright at first, and then I acted. Don't forget, I used to be an actress.
Why did you stay in the canoe after he left you?
Well, I yelled my head off and nobody came. It was dark and, well, I was afraid I'd fall into the water. I can't swim.
Well, that's sensible. Do you think you could locate the spot where your husband's body was dropped into the water?
I pointed out the spot when the police brought me to the yacht this morning.
That's right, Mike. We've had men grappling for the body all morning. There's no current and the water's quiet, so we ought to bring it up. Oh, that's the police launch.
Found the body, Inspector.
That ties it up. Bring it in, boys.
Well, you satisfied now, Angel?
No, I am not, and neither are you.
Mm-hmm. Say, I guess that'd be Mr. Taylor with the briefcase over there coming down the pier.
Huh? Oh, yes, the secretary. Dark and handsome.
Huh?
And not too tall.
In just a moment, we'll rejoin Mike Shayne and Phyllis Knight in their adventures. Professor Porter's body has been recovered from the bay, and Inspector Faraday is hurrying to meet the launch at the end of the pier. Mike and Phyllis are following, but Phyllis is reluctant to leave Mrs. Porter and the professor's secretary, Bill Taylor, together in the lounge of the yacht.
Come on, hurry, honey. They'll be here in a minute.
You're getting awfully careless, Mike.
I know what I'm doing.
I wonder.
Oh, cut it out, Angel, please.
Oh, Mike, get tough. Be yourself.
Why, what do you mean?
Well, don't let a good-looking redhead blind you.
So far, she's got all the answers, Angel. Good answers.
All of them.
All right, take it easy now. Yeah, okay. Bring it over here.
Hey, give me a hand. This is heavy.
Okay, Sergeant, cut the ropes.
Right. Hey, what are all those lumps?
Some sort of weights.
Made a sack out of the blanket.
Open it up, man.
Okay, here we are.
Holy jumping catfish.
Well, I'll be...
I knew they were heavy reading, but I never thought of them as weights.
Well, the professor went down wrapped in culture, the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4... 12 volumes.
Mm-hmm. From A to J.
Mike, look over by the inspector, Mrs. Porter and Bill Taylor.
Of course, darling, they've got to identify the body.
Oh.
Look out, she's fading.
Take her back to the yacht, man.
This I've got to see. Annabelle in a swoon.
You better go with her, Angel. Now, hurry.
Okay.
Doc says, can you have the body now?
Okay, take it to the morgue.
What about all them books?
You know what to do with evidence. The blank and everything go to headquarters.
Right.
Inspector.
Yes.
See any marks on the body?
Not a scratch. Hey, where's Porter's secretary?
Right here, Inspector. Bill Taylor.
Does Jim Ponder strike you as the sort of fellow who'd pull a job like this?
Well, I wouldn't like to accuse anyone of a thing like this.
How long have you known him?
About a year. Ever since I've been with Professor Porter. Shall we return to the yacht? I'm afraid Mrs. Porter's ill.
We can talk here. Miss Knight will look after her. Oh, this is my friend, Mr. Shayne.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Shayne?
Fine. Well, looks like Fonda put his trademark on this one.
I don't know. I only wish I'd never sent him to the yacht.
When was this?
Sunday. Yesterday afternoon.
Well, why did you send him?
Well, I never dreamed it. He was insistent.
Did Porter tell you to keep Fonda away from him?
Well, this is embarrassing, Mr. Shayne.
Murder usually is, Mr. Taylor. Come on, let's have the story.
Well, Professor Porter disliked seeing his nephew.
Why? Was he afraid of him?
Oh, no, not exactly afraid. It was just that, Well, look, Inspector, can this be kept confidential?
Well, how can I tell you until I know what it is?
Well, a good many years ago, Professor Porter was involved in a rather nasty divorce case.
Well, nothing like that's turned up. His past is clean.
Maybe he took on a new identity, Inspector. It's been done, you know.
Yes. Professor Porter did take a new name and arranged an entirely different past. You see, Professor Porter was William Steele.
Hey, wait a minute. I remember that case. Back on Long Island.
I don't know a great deal about it, however.
But Fonda did, huh? And made the most of it.
Well, I'm not sure, Mr. Shayne. But you see, I took care of Professor Porter's bank account, and he gave his nephew large sums of money.
How much does Mrs. Porter know about this?
I don't believe she knows anything about the divorce.
But she knew Fonda had something on her husband?
I suspect she did. She knew about the money because she spoke to me about it.
How often has Fonda been tapping the professor?
Almost every month. This was his second trip this month.
Speaking of trips, where were you going on your vacation?
My vacation? Oh, you found my bag.
What's this about a bag, Mike?
I found 2 bags fully packed in a closet. One belonged to you, Mr. Taylor, I believe.
And the other one?
To Mrs. Porter.
Oh, well, that's easy to explain. You see, the professor sold the yacht, and I was moving my personal possessions. I presume that Mrs. Porter had the same thing in mind.
What about Professor Porter?
Well, he always put things off until the last moment.
Meaning?
Well, the moving van isn't due until tonight.
All right, Mike, that explains the bags. Now, let's get back to my office. I want Fonda.
And I'd like to see how Mrs. Porter's feeling.
All right, go ahead. The coroner's inquest hasn't been set, but I want to see you and Mrs. Porter tomorrow morning.
Okay, we'll be at Mrs. Porter's home.
Mike.
Huh?
Michael.
Yes, Angel?
Now I've seen everything.
How is Mrs. Porter?
Oh, she's beautiful, but bereaved. She's repairing her makeup.
Come on, I want to get to my office.
Mike, did you ask Mr. Taylor about the bags?
Yes, Angel, yes. But he knows the answer.
Any messages?
Hollywood's been calling every 20 minutes, Inspector.
What do they want?
Feller at Apex Studios wants his pirates.
Tell them we got a murder case to settle first.
Says you're going to have a lawsuit, too. Claims this has costed him thousands.
Why don't you turn him loose, Inspector?
The guy says you better do it pronto.
That boat's stuck till I get my hands on Fonda. Come on, Mike, fellas.
Okay.
Now, let's get down to business.
Yeah, let's go to work.
Well, it's about time.
What do you mean, fellas? Fonda left a trail a yard wide.
Too wide, Inspector.
You want to do me a favor, Inspector?
You two? What is it?
Check on that story about the sale of Porter's yacht.
Yes, Mike, I had that in mind.
Yes, Inspector?
Is Bolton back from that pirate ship?
He's waiting out, sir.
Send him in. Pick up any leads, Bolton?
Not a line. The guy just vanished.
Oh, he can't do that.
What did they tell you about Fonda?
Everybody had a good word for him. He came to town ahead of the picture crowd last Friday.
Oh? When was he on the boat?
Yesterday. They said he seemed worried about his uncle. Hadn't been able to see him.
Did he tell anybody why he wanted to see his uncle?
No. Seems that he didn't do much talking.
Does Fonda smoke a pipe?
Say, you haven't found him, have you, Mike?
No. Why?
Well, the pipe's a part of the description they gave me.
Mm-hmm. Left eye twitches, too.
You must know the guy.
No, just the woman he kidnapped.
Well, he can't get out of town. Must be holed up somewhere.
You searched the boat?
Yeah. Even turned up some girl pirates.
Any pirate costumes missing?
Wardrobe man says they're all there.
Well, how about the odd parts? Wigs, scarves?
I thought of that. Could be. But it'd take a week to check.
Okay, take a week, but check it.
Okay.
Hello?
That Hollywood guy's on the wire, crying.
Tell him I got a murder in my hands. The boat stays here.
Fonda's not on that boat, Inspector.
His friends are. Get back to that boat.
If I stay out there any longer, I'll turn pirate myself.
Got any ideas, Mike?
Well, I'd like to know about
About that Porter yacht, Inspector.
Yes?
Professor sold it all right.
That satisfy you, Mike?
Well, that cooks one idea, anyhow.
I've got an idea, Inspector.
Let's have it, Phil.
Remember when lovely Annabelle was giving us Act 2?
Oh, let's don't be catty, Angel.
You be quiet. I know when you're getting ready to spring something.
I wish I knew as much.
All right, Smarty. Well, Mrs. Porter spoke of Jim Fonda in the past tense.
A natural reaction. Probably glad to have him out of her life.
Oh, you don't.
Just heard from the coroner's office, Inspector.
When's the inquest?
Tomorrow. Funny thing,
What's that?
Doc says Porter's been in the water 2 or 3 days.
Did you hear that, Mike?
Wow, that knocks the whole case into a cocked hat.
But Mrs. Porter said it happened last night.
Well, maybe she'll know the answer to this one.
Maybe I know the answers.
What?
Remember when we went through the staterooms on the yacht?
Yeah, you admired the beds.
Uh-huh. There were 2 in the stateroom and 1 in the guest cabin.
Yeah, they'd all been slept in.
Maybe yes, maybe no. But there was something missing.
Hey, I remember. The blankets.
Now you're cooking.
Look, this is no time for guessing games, Mike.
Let him alone. I thought he never would wake up.
1 blanket to wrap the professor in, 1 for his wife for a canoe ride.
Yeah.
That makes 2 blankets.
Where's the third one?
Maybe it was for Fonda.
You're wrong, Mike.
And about encyclopedias?
20 volumes to the set, covering everything from A to Z.
Right, Angel, right. Where's the other 8 volumes? Porter was dumped overboard with A to J.
And you think K to Z are with Fonda?
Say, anybody on the yacht with that dame?
Oh, Taylor's with a she'll keep.
Well, Fonda didn't keep very well.
Well, maybe I left her uncovered so she'd lead us to Fonda.
I've got a different slant, Inspector. The only place Annabelle will lead you is astray.
I guess we better get back to the yacht.
If you're still looking for Fonda, we'd better go. I doubt if there's anyone else there.
All right, let's go. Fonda's the lad I'm still looking for.
Then you better take along the boys with the long-handled rakes, Inspector.
We'll return to Michael Shayne and his adventures in just a moment. Mike, Phyllis, and Inspector Faraday are back at the yacht. A crew with grappling hooks is just arriving. It would be Old Home Week if Mrs. Porter and Bill Taylor were there, but they've flown the coop. The inspector mutters to himself.
I hope this phone's still working. Hello, Sarge.
Yes, Inspector?
Get Cassidy on the short wave. Tell him to bring Mrs. Porter and Taylor back to the yacht.
So, you did have them tailed.
How do you think I keep my job, Mike?
Mike, you were right about the blankets, and the bags are gone, too.
Sure they're gone. Taylor told us they were moving into town.
And here's where the encyclopedia set came from.
Where is it? An empty shelf, and I never even noticed.
Say, let's go out on deck and see if they fished up anything, huh?
All right.
Hey, fellas, have you found anything?
2 tire cases and a couple of pairs of old shoes.
Well, keep on raking. Try up forward.
Okay. It's beginning to add up, all right.
Yeah, sure it adds up. Fonda gets into town, goes to see Uncle Porter.
And tries to pick up $5,000.
No, I'm not buying the blackmail scenario.
Why, Mike?
Too well planted like the rest of the deal. Anyhow, a crook working a blackmail racket doesn't have to work as a press agent.
Okay, so Fonda goes to see Porter.
And Porter isn't in sight. Annabelle and Taylor give Fonda a cock and bull story. He gets suspicious and starts checking.
Yeah, but where?
Around the neighborhood, at the university.
And then?
Annabelle and Taylor get ideas. Maybe Fonda is the answer to a little job they've already done.
You mean Porter's murder?
You're on the beam, Inspector. My guess is Fonda stood to get a slice of the professor's estate, a big slice.
I'm beginning to like your story.
Well, wait a minute. Let me finish it. They decide to knock off Fonda, hang the Porter murder on him, and live happily ever after.
Take the whole pot, huh?
Right. So Taylor lets Fonda know that his professor uncle is on the yacht.
And when Fonda shows up Sunday night, Taylor drills him.
Hey, aren't you boys guessing a bit too far ahead?
Huh?
You've got no proof that Taylor shot Fonda. In fact, you've got no proof that Fonda's even dead.
No. But do you see what I see on that ledge?
You mean the lamp?
Yes, darling, a lamp. Where it couldn't do anybody any good.
No, it's not very ornamental.
Okay. Quit being clever. Move it.
All right. A bullet hole.
Yes, honey, a bullet hole. And not very old either.
And since no bullets were used to put the professor out of the way, and Taylor and the professor's wife are still alive... What is it, Sarge?
Another bundle, Inspector.
Well, Inspector, blanket number 3.
Yeah, and the same kind of bulges as the other bundle.
Yes, Angel. Encyclopedia Britannica, volumes K to Z.
Looks like a police car.
Cassidy, you hope.
With our 2 murdering lovebirds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Cassidy, all right.
Here they are, Inspector.
Did you send for us, Inspector?
Yes, I wanted to finish our chat.
Why, what happened, Inspector?
Nothing much. We just found Fonda's body. Get out of the car, Taylor. You too, Annabelle.
Duck, guys, he's got a gun.
Get him, Faraday, get him! My gun's jammed!
That got his tire.
The car's caught fire.
Yeah, come on, run for it, hurry!
They're both unconscious.
Yeah, pull him out, pull him out.
Get her first. Easier that way.
Taylor's all in one piece anyway.
It's the same with the Dane. Just bump your head.
Well, that's too bad. Mike, where are you going?
To get the robe out of the car before it's burned.
Have you gone crazy?
No. Now, here, let's throw this robe over Annabelle. Put it up over her face.
Hey, Taylor's stirring. He's coming out of it.
Good. But I can't have Annabelle awake. Maybe I better conquer her.
Let me.
Wake him up, Inspector.
Come on, you get up. Wake her up. Come on.
Where am I?
You're at the end of the road, fella.
Where's Annabelle? Mrs. Porter.
Mrs. Porter's dead.
Oh, no, she couldn't be.
Huh? Pull the blanket back, honey.
Was she dead? I mean...
I know exactly what you mean, boy. No, she talked. Talked plenty before she went. You've been out cold for 10 minutes, fella. Come on, you'd better talk fast.
I had nothing to do with it. Oh, I helped dispose of the bodies, yes, but she made me. She threatened my life. She acted like a madwoman. I didn't do it. I didn't.
Then who did?
Annabelle. She poisoned the professor and she shot Fonda.
He's lying. Don't believe him.
Oh, so you came too, huh?
But you said she was dead. You tricked me.
Which is nothing compared to what we're going to do to you, both of you.
Yes, we tricked you. And you accused her of murder. Now it's her turn. Where did he hide the gun?
At my apartment.
Oh, you fool. If you'd kept your mouth shut.
If you both kept your mouths shut, we'd still have caught you. Every clue that you planted, every clue that you thought would point to Fonda was a signpost leading us right to you. I don't want to talk to them anymore, Inspector. How about you?
Not me. I've had all I want. Take him away, Cassidy.
Well, Mike, this is my apartment, remember?
Huh? Oh, yes, Andrew, yeah.
What are you thinking of, Mike? The redhead?
Redhead? Oh, her, no.
Oh, no. She did sort of go for it. In a mild sort of way.
Not me, honey. I knew she was a phony.
Don't give me that.
No, look, Angel, look. What do you think I am, a fool?
Yes, where blondes and redheads are concerned, yes.
Angel, from the word go, I had her tagged. She tried to identify Fonda as the guy who kidnapped her.
Well, I know it.
Well, could you picture Fonda picking her up, wrapping her in a blanket, carrying her to a canoe, and all the time striking matches to light a pipe he was smoking? Tut, Angel.
Well, then why didn't you say so before?
Just because you look so cute when you're jealous?
Jealous? What?
Angel, please, Angel, not here. The neighbors are watching.
Tonight's story was written by Tom Petty and based on the character created by Brett Halliday. Music was composed and directed by Bernard Katz. This is Ed Stevens substituting for John Lang, saying good night. This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.